Welcome to the 4Q podcast. My name is Sheena Shuey. I have a Bachelor of Psychology, Masters of Counselling, and Masters of Social Work. My aim is to normalise rather than pathologise life. And in this podcast, we talk all things therapy, women's mental health, leadership, and business. So if you're ready to learn some tips, tricks, and hear some amazing stories to really amplify your life and your business, let's get into it. Welcome again to the 4Q podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the 4Q podcast. I'm so happy you're here, beautiful human. Continuing on from the money theme from last week, let's talk about money again because it is coming up a lot. So as many of you know, if you're not new here, but if you're new here, I run Savasana Collective, which is my private practice, holistic psychology and coaching and social work, and Therapist VA, where I do business coaching for health professionals. And I want to tackle this idea that you can like money and not be a capitalist monster. Now, so often people associate money with capitalism because a lot of people don't understand like the true definitions of capitalism. And fortunately for me, because I studied social work, again, a lot of people don't realize this, but social workers, we learn about how systems in society work and interact. What keeps them going, what oppresses people, what grows people. And here's the idea is that if, the opposite of capitalism is sustainability. So capitalism is all about growth at all costs. So sustainability is going, how can we maintain a level of comfort, a level of security, a level of freedom for everyone in a sustainable way without damaging ourselves, damaging our community, exploiting the environment, exploiting people, exploiting resources. So how can we make this work in a way for everyone that doesn't exploit people, places, or things? That's what the opposite of capitalism is. Capitalism is about growth at all costs, even at exploiting the environment, resources, and people. So, there's a whole bunch of things around this, but most people are not going to earn enough to even think about being a capitalist monster, right? So I was trying to figure out what the top percent of Australian wealth is. And basically, I think you're in the top 5% or maybe in the top 3% of people if you earn something like over 150,000 in Australia, which to some, don't get me wrong, that is a lot of money for a lot of people. I know a lot of people would appreciate being on that kind of money. But I'm going to be honest with you, that's not a lot of money compared to what a real capitalist is. We're talking billion-dollar industries, hundreds of million-dollar industries that, again, they're paying people $3 an hour, $10 an hour, like really exploiting people's labor, okay? That's what capitalism is. It's making money off the environment by causing damage, killing animals, destroying the planet despite climate change, all of that sort of stuff, right? It's just exploitative. It's sort of taking advantage of people in vulnerable situations. So again, those big pharma companies who have medications that save people's lives and then jack the prices up 300% just for profit's sake. Those are the things, right? So if you like money and you like nice things, that does not make you a monster. It does not make you greedy. And a lot of people have been shamed, like, I can't be okay with earning money unless I work my ass off, or it's not okay for me to make money unless I'm constantly giving it back, or it's not okay for me to make money or hold money. And these money blocks, the reason I'm bringing it up last week and this week is because I'm finding that these money blocks are really affecting people's burnout levels, anxiety levels, their way that they run their career and their business, because it's like, if I earn a certain income, I'm not worthy of it unless I work my ass off, or I have to be working 60, 70 hours a week to be justifying that income, or it's not okay for me to just enjoy the fruits of my labor. Like, it's not okay for me to rest when there's people suffering out there. And I think one way to look at this is a few different things. I think privilege plays into this money mindset thing. So most of us do not come from generational wealth, but if you do, that's a whole different game, because it's easy for you to make money and you have guidance. You have people in your life telling you how to grow your wealth. If you have someone who can give you sound financial advice, so how to invest your money so it grows, and how to invest in real estate, stocks, shares, all of that, how lucky you are, because most people do not have that. So understanding, okay, how can I share that knowledge that's been imparted in me with other people? So even if I can't share my finances, how can I share my knowledge, right? How can I make all of us have these sustainable practices? How can I be community-based? Because remember, capitalism is about the individual and being individualistic, right? Whereas sustainability goes with community. So if you can create communities where you're sharing knowledge, you're sharing sustainable practices, you're sharing wealth, right? How can that grow? How can you give back to that community and be involved? So another thing I think is important is that, let's say your long game is you want to make 50 million, which again, this is going to blow your mind, but even having 50 million is nowhere close to reaching the metric of being a capitalist monster. So if you have a turnover of 50 million per annum, get this, your business is still considered a small business, and in very rare cases, a medium business. That's a small to medium business. Okay. So that's the thing, is that if you ever got to a position where your long game is, I want this business to turn over 50 million because I want to start a charity or foundation that can help thousands of people every single year, be mindful of that. Articulate that vision to other people so that you're held accountable to that vision, and you're all growing for that vision. As well as, don't just give money to charity, like, get involved. Try to actually help these charities. Ask them, is there a way I can be hands-on with this? Or can I share the message? What do I need to educate people on? Is there a protest or something I can rock up to that I'm actually fighting for a cause? That's what we're talking about here, is sustainability and community and all of that. And these are very out there thoughts, but I want to come back to this other idea of, if you can create a community that's based on love and kindness and joy and connection, where it's, let's do what's best for all of us, let's try to raise each other up. That is opposite of exploitation and capitalism, okay? And so you're allowed to love money, because money is survival in our society. You're allowed to be safe. You're allowed to have affirmations around money, like, I am safe. Money provides safety for me. Money provides freedom for me. I do not have to be in a state of fight or flight around money, because many people are really uncomfortable about it or have some sort of danger things around it because of the fact that it does provide our basics: food, water, shelter, all of those things. So, in some circles, there is talk that, the opposite of a capitalist society would be a society where the human basics that we need to survive, food, water, shelter, are actually covered by money. And so if you want to have more than the basics to survive and you want to have like a luxurious lifestyle, that's where you can work extra for it. But the bare minimum of like money for food, water, shelter, or even if it's not money, even if it's just those things are provided to you in a sustainable way, in a community-based way, that's it. So I want you to be okay with money, and I want you to be okay with community. The two aren't mutually divisive. You can earn money and be caring. So you can be a loving, caring, kind person and love money. You can be a community-based person and love money. You can care for the environment and love money. You can care for the oppressed and the disadvantaged and love money. You can be against oppression and awful privileges and still like money. Money is not evil, and we have to shift our mindset around this, particularly as business owners, when we have to, we have inflow and outflow of money much more than, say, if you're an employee. If you're a business owner or wanting to become a business owner, you have to be much more okay with your money blocks and be able to let go of money and accept when it comes in, when it floods in the tens of the thousands, and when it flows out in the tens of the thousands. Knowing that you are safe and you can hold space and that you're allowed to grow in a sustainable way, that's really important. So if you want to have a great relationship with money and feel ethical about it, ask yourself, are you creating community? If your wealth grows, can you give in bigger amounts? So play the long game, right? Like if you only earn $100,000 a year, again, that's not really much right now in today's environment. So if you play a long game where you go, I want to grow my wealth, and making sure that you have this idea that, and once I grow my wealth, I'm going to make sure that I have stocks in ethical practices, right? So can I invest in environmental startups? Can I invest in companies that support people of color? Can I invest in things that are much more ethical? Again, getting involved with charities rather than just donating to charities. All of those things will help you feel okay with money, and working on your affirmations. Again, last week we were talking about the wobble. So again, asking yourself, where are my money blocks and what is this about? When have I been shamed about money? So again, it's always innocent, but these are the things that sometimes be left with us is, did I have relatives tease me about money? Because kids often get really excited about money. And I've heard many stories of relatives sort of shaming kids for being excited about receiving money, or saying, don't show it off, or don't flaunt it around, or you've got to save it, or don't spend it all in one spot. Like, really asking yourself, where have my money stories come from? Did I come from a family that spent money on experiences and not just things? Because there is a freedom that comes with going, I'm safe enough to spend money on an experience, not just things that I need for survival. So spending money on things like holidays, restaurants, going to different places, experiencing different things, right? Asking yourself what the messages you were that around money. Did your family talk about money or not talk about money? Did your family make you feel like no matter what happens, you're going to be okay and risk-taking is okay? Or did they make you feel like if you don't have a secure government job, you're going to be broke, you're going to be homeless, you're going to die? Like awful things, right? Because sometimes the irrational fears around money come from that stuff too. So I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope that you can understand your relationship with money and how that might drive your need to constantly do, your inability to delegate either home tasks or work tasks because you're not willing to pay somebody to do things that you can do because you're so tight with money, or you have this fear of letting money go, or that it's unethical to hire people of jobs that you can do. Really asking yourself that and asking, how is this contributing to my mental health? Am I not spending money on experiences and only materialistic things? Is that affecting my mental health? Am I not taking care of myself, not just through food, water, shelter, but giving myself a massage or going to a nice restaurant on the beach? You're allowed to enjoy life. So money is representative of lots of different things in life, and I hope that you can see that. So thank you for being here, beautiful soul. Let me know if you love this podcast. And again, if you're a health professional, come connect with me over at Therapist VA, where I'm going to shadow you in some more blocks that you might have around growing a business and accepting money and knowing how to serve your community as an ethical health professional. And if you're a beautiful business owner, entrepreneur, female leader, mum, working mum in corporate, and you want to connect with our clarity community and get clarity over life and relationships and friendships and all things womanhood, you can connect with us over at Savasana Collective. All right, I'm so happy to have you here and joyful to be here. And I cannot wait for all of you to see our new incredible offer coming out soon. So if you haven't been following on socials for that, keep your eye out for that. All right, I will see you in the next episode of the 4Q podcast. Bye for now.